Tak, čaute ľudia a vítam vás opäť pri Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Minulé sme prešli zase na to, opálili sme tú ropnú vrtačku, alebo čo to bolo. No a vrátili sme sa späť semok a zase pôjdeme sprovozniť ten teleskop, aby sme zistili, že vlastne čo je na tom signále. No a utiekli z tejto smyčky hnusnej, otravnej, do ktorej nás hodil náš pán Škrabák obľúbený. Previd jeden. Ale nie. Zase títo. Dajte mi pokoj oči, ne? Tak, dechni. Tak, konečne. Čo tu ešte ďalšieho máme? Pobereme tu na stránky a všeličo možné, lebo tam v tejto časti tej tretej, tam bude táto pednička s útočnou puškou, ktorú by som chcel ako celkom získať. Dobre, čo tu máme ešte? Nič tu nevidím. Môžeme ešte druhú stranu čeknúť. Ne, nejde to otvoriť, tak vyzerá, že všetko tu máme. Aspoň teda zatiaľ. Ale zase sú to títo. Dobre, dáme si na nich muzinku. Poďte sem. No tak. Dobre, štochni už. Tak. Ďakujem. Ďalšia stranečka tu je. Ukáž. Niečo s príbehami proste to. Typy príbehov.
Stories come naturally to us. We can't help it. There are many different worlds, many competing realities within our heads, fueled by books, television, even barely remembered childhood tales. There's an endless supply of fictional concepts more familiar to us than anything or anyone real. We have a far greater connection to the fictional characters we know and love than the random people we pass on the street. Our destinies and inspirations are shaped by lies, myths, and fables.
Toto vlastne opisuje, že máme to lepšie spojenie s hocičím fikcionálnym a proste príbehy k nám prichádzajú normálne. A poznáme lepšie vymyslených charaktery ako random ľudí, ktorí proste prídeme to okolo ulice alebo tak. Vlastne osudy a inšpirácie sú v podstate to vytvorené klamstvami, mýtusami a rozprávkami, no. OK, čo tu máme? Hej, bereme si tú karabínu. Tá karabína je lepšia. Že aj idiot som si vymenil vôbec tú pušku tam vtedy. Čo to je? Ďalšia stránečka. Čo to je? Bojová brokovnica. Ukáž. Nemám na to dosť. Čo tu máme? Posadnutý.
The taken may well be the tool the darkness favors over any other. At some point, they used to be human, but whatever humanity they once had is long gone. Now they're just shells covered and filled by darkness. The taken Mr. throws at me are more grotesque and varied than the ones I first encountered in Bright Falls. But I know how to deal with them. I'd be lying if I said they don't frighten me. But I've survived worse. I can't let them stop me.
No, v podstate títo posadnutí sú ako proste nástroj temnoty, očividne obľúbení. Boli ľudia, ale už bohužiaľ z nich nie sú. A sú pokrytí temnotou a títo noví posadnutí sú proste viacej hento vylepšenejší a lepší než tých, ktorí hento prvýkrát stretol v Bright Falls. Dobre, že by sme si tú bojovú brokonicu kúpili teraz? Ne. Ne. Je to 40 pageov. A ak bude tá útočná puška o niečo viac, no tak to sme v prdeli. Pretože neviem, kde by som zobral taký veľký počet. Tu nejak by som bral každú jednu. Akurát, že keby som na začiatku neminul tento, tú jednu alebo dve, tak asi by to aj vyšlo, hej. By som mohol mať tú bojovú brokovnicu. Čo tu ešte máme? Ešte to tu okúknem, pardon, hej. A? Hen, tu niečo je. Ale veď no tak. Dobre. Tak, čo tu máme? Stratený v temnote.
After my disappearance, they thought I was dead. I might as well have been. I know it's been 2 years. I know Alice has moved on. I've tried to find a way back to her, back to my life, but escaping the dark place is almost impossible. Time does strange things here, but dreams and radio signals can pierce the veil between the worlds. I catch glimpses and echoes of the world. Sometimes I send messages out. I can only pray that they hear them.
V podstate 2 roky bol tu zaseknutý a Alice proste to už pokračuje ďalej. Snaží sa nájsť cestu, ale je to v podstate nemožné. Ale počujem to z kúsky z reality a niekedy posiela aj správy. Čiže ako uvidíme, či sa niekedy vôbec z tej temnoty dostane, alebo tak. Ale kto vie, možno Alan Wake 2 bude mať viacero koncov a jeden z tých koncov bude ten, že sa proste vráti späť. Ale nejaký twist určite tam bude. Ak by som dobre hádal, lebo však to by nebolo len tak, podľa mňa. Že proste good ending a šup. Neriešte.
It's you! How dare you! No, wait. It isn't you, is it?
Ne.
I suppose you'd better come in. I'll unlock the door.
Thanks.
Dobre. Ďalšia televíza. Paráda. Vypočujeme si, čo pre nás má Škrabák zase.
I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that. Like this. Need to get your hands dirty? No batteries, no moving parts, just physics. That's technology you can depend on. It's a classic.
Tutorial ako byť efektívny vrah, no.
You need to be careful with this one, though. If the victim suddenly twists, you might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style. Now this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so it won't open by accident in your pocket, but it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big, too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also great for dismemberings and whatnot.
No, ani nie.
The messy jobs.
Nevyzerá na to ten nožík. Že to dokázal zvládnuť.
I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff. Okay, now guns. Not a big fan. I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet? I want you to understand that. I take pride in what I do. We can't both be worthless hacks, can we?
Ajste. Nepáčia sa mu zbrane, pretože chce mať blízky kontakt. Previd jeden.
You'll have to forgive me, but this feels very strange.
It seems like this has all happened before.
No však aj hej.
Have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
All right. Let's get it installed.
Dobre, ešte berem muníciu. Tu je flare gun ammo. A myslím, že už teraz povolujú viacej tej munície do tej flare guny ako minulé. V tej jednotke. A dobre. Šupni to tam.
I think we can give this a go, although I have this strange feeling that something will
Don't
go
start
wrong.
it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes, that's right. I remember. All right, let me think. If they're sabotaging it, they'll be at the primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready to pick up the signal. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and explained a few things.
No dobre.
All of this is very strange to me.
Fajn, poviem ti o tom ešte predtým, než si zdrhnem o to. Len čistoty, hej. Mám tam aj nejakú stránku, ktorú by som si mohol zebrať. Poď.
Hello.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I seem to remember having had this encounter before.
It's not déjà vu, Doctor. This has happened before. We're caught in a time loop.
That's utterly insane. How could that be?
I can't really explain it. I suppose I could call it magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Neither do I, but I can't argue with what I've experienced. Listen, what matters now is the signal. The last time we only caught a part of it. I need the rest of it. Whether you believe me or not, you want to look into this as much as I do, right?
Yes. All right.
No, uvedomujem si, že máš problém uveriť
I
tomuto.
realize that you have trouble believing this.
That's an understatement. I can't deny that what you say resonates with me on some level I don't pretend to understand. But for all I know, I'm simply delusional.
But it's not just you. I've experienced the same thing as you. Doesn't that prove something, at least?
Maybe. On the other hand, given your appearance, and the fact that you're trying to convince me that I'm not insane, perhaps you're merely a hallucination that accompanies my delusions.
You're not having a psychotic episode, Doctor.
Empatizujem s
For
tebou.
what it's worth, I'm a skeptic by nature. I completely understand your reluctance to believe me.
There are people caught so deep in their psychosis that they retroactively manufacture memories and beliefs that conform to the situation at hand.
Sure, but you have to stop second-guessing yourself at some point, if you want to get something done.
Dobre. Nič tu vyzerá, že nie. Takže ideme zase tie trubky. A sa myslím, že teraz už iba jednu musím obsadiť. Ako bolo by to nice, keby ako to povedala skôršie, keď sme tu prvýkrát boli, by to ušetrilo čas. No a hej, chápem, je to standalone DLCčko, ale proste sú tu len 3 lokácie podľa toho, čo tam bolo. A už to nemá taký feel, ako mal klasický ten Alan Wake jednotka, tak uvidím, či dvojka ten feel dokáže aspoň trošičku ento. OK. Teraz zase k tým trubicám. Jasné, kamene nám tu zavalia. No, fasa. Ani chvíľu neprestanú otravovať. Ale takto si robíš srandu. Tie hnusné granáty zase. Daj pokoj s tými dynamikám, hej. More. Čo najviac ma poškodia tieto blbosti. Dosť, ale... Poď si tam odpaľovať niekam inde, hej. Ach jaj. Dobre, doplníme si muníciu, lebo už tie puške dochádza. Mi príde, že ako toho celkom ako uľahčili, hej. Že tieto vecičky tu nájdem už častejšie, že už to nie je taká veľká lokácia. Ale to je zase to. Hovorili, že mali nejaký problém s tým. No. Škoda, že som to nevidel neskôr.
Doctor, can you hear me? I think we're good to go.
All right. I'll start looking for the signal. Please, head back.
Ale no. Okej, no paráda.
I guess they didn't like that.
No, samozrejme, že ne. Tak, môžem sa vrátiť. Dúfam, že to ne... No, vyzerá, že to niečo poškodilo. Áno, všimol som si len. Posadnuté predmety zase sú tu. To si robíš srandu. No. Samozrejme, že ma bejtujú tí svetlami ako úložné miesta. A aj tak ich potom zničí tá temnota. Ľahni tým rusák. Tak. Stále nemám dosť, tak dúfam, že tá útočná puška nebude mať viacej. Ale, no. Zase tento výbušný prevít. No tak. A ešte dvaja sú. To je paráda. Traja. Ale tak no. Dobre. Môžeme sa skľudniť s tými výbušninami, hej? Zabereme si muníciu. Alebo nie. Tak asi vo vnútri. Tak. Pome. A ide sa. Je dobre, no. Musím si zabrať ešte muníciu na to. Tak. Dobre. Môžeme.
You find the signal?
Yes, I don't think it's quite the same thing we had, the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at it yourself. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though. If you don't mind.
Dobre, čo chceš?
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Yes, I was involved in... It's a complex story. I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I've fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages. Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming I believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
It's not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
Tak pobehujú tu veci.
Don't look at me like that. You've experienced some of this yourself.
I will gladly admit that something exceedingly strange is going on. But this idea that you're somehow altering reality with your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my actions. Leaving aside the rational arguments against this, what gives you the right?
Well, it's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make? It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our destinies are determined by things like physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you agree?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be hangry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
Dobre, tak môžeme pokračovať. Ber ten signál na
Another
to.
printout. Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete, but it's another piece of the weapon he has built against his adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Dobre, tak zase ideme do toho autokina. A asi to vyzerá, že tam to aj skončí. Lebo by sa predsa nemohlo natiahnuť len to ešte po tretíkrát.
The last time the man came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is enough.
No, dobre, ale toto tu na dneska tipneme. Takže ak sa ma videjko páčilo, nezabudnite za lajkátor. Ak ste tu noví, dajte odber a zvonček, aby ste boli upozornení na nové videá a streamy. No a budeme pokračovať, možno to bude koniec, možno nie, v ďalšej časti. Tak sa zatiaľ majte a prajem vám pekný zvyšok dňa. A zatiaľ, pa pa.